Hello everyone, and thank you for joining me today. In this video, I want to talk about the books I'm currently reading. So I'm actually in the middle of 6 books, which is kind of wild, and 2 of those I actually started today, so I don't know what came into me because I have I have books I have to read for my current TBR, which is Victober, and yeah, I just felt like reading something else. I borrowed 2 audiobooks from my library. But I'm gonna start with the first one, which I started the very first, and I think I started this in July. And this is also an audiobook, and it is Before They Are Hanged by Joe Abercrombie, which is book 2 in the First Law trilogy, I think. And I'm really enjoying this one. I mean, if you've been following my videos, you know that I'm reading this series, and I just love it as a slow-paced, really character-focused, extremely slow-paced, I have to say though, fantasy series, like classical middle-aged type of fantasy series. And I just, I'm really taking my time with this. As I said, I started this in July and I have like 1.5 hours to go. I think these are pretty long books as well. So I'm excited to see where this series is gonna go. And I'm not that upset that it's so slow, because every time I listen to it, it's just like going back to some old favorites and some great characters I really enjoy following. The next one I started in September, and that is Frank Herbert's Dune. I started this because I wanted to read it before before going to the movies, so seeing the movie. But I've been to the movies, I've seen it, and I am at page 89. So I enjoyed the movie. It was quite the slow-paced, and I can see why, because this book is also extremely slow-paced. I think it felt like I've been watching quite a lot of the movie already, and I was still at this beginning. So the way I understand is that the movie is just part 1 of this, and the movie just ended where I was feeling that it was getting to be more exciting. So I'm looking forward to continuing and maybe finding out more and just reading the whole story, because it's a sci-fi classic, and I really like the world and the people and of course the main characters. So yeah, I'm excited to finish this. I think this is also going to be something I dip in and out of, just like I do with the Joe Abercrombie series, because yeah, I don't know, I just have too many books on the go, and whenever I see the length of this, I get a bit discouraged. I don't know why. I used to love and I used to read a lot of longer books, but I just haven't read them as much lately. The next one I'm in the middle of is Fictions by Jorge Luis Borges. I picked this book up at the beginning of this year because I wanted to read books from Argentina. I just wanted to familiarize myself with the country's literature, and Jorge Luis Borges was the place to start. Argentina was also one of the countries for the Invisible Cities project, so it was like a double win. So I'm slowly going through this short story collection. There's a lot of short stories in here, and this book is about 160 pages long. But I'm really taking my time and trying to read one story at a time and trying to really read it slowly. I also read twice some of them because I feel like many of these go above my head, or I feel like it's hard for me to grasp their essence and their meaning, or just whatever message the author tried to convey, because it's just magical realism, and it's just like a not perfect genre for me personally. But as kind of the father of this genre, I just thought that I must read something of his, especially since wanting to familiarize myself with Argentinian literature. I think he had such a vast influence on a lot of writers that you really have to go back to him and just see where that influence is coming from. And the next one I'm currently in the middle of is actually one that is on my current TBR, which is my October TBR, and it is Lady Audley's Secret by Mary Elizabeth Braddon. I'm really happy that I chose this one out of the TBR. I actually finished the Picture of Dorian Gray already, and this is the second one I picked up. So it's going quite well for me, because I said if I manage to read two-ish, then I would be happy. This is quite a long one. It's like of 470 pages, and I'm at page 52. So, but it wasn't such a long time ago I picked it up. So yeah, I'm just slowly getting my way through this. And it's like a slow-paced, character-focused book, which is focusing on this Lady Audley and her life. So far, I got to know her a little bit, even though I haven't read from her perspective yet. I'm not sure if I will. But I got to read about her marrying this very wealthy man and becoming Lady Audley because she was a governess. And there's another storyline which kind of maybe it will come together, I guess, with her storyline at some point. And I'm really interested to see if my guesses will be correct. Probably. I don't know. It just seems like a bit obvious. But I don't think this is meant to be one of those really mysteries where you have to guess and so on and so forth. But there's a mystery. She's a mysterious lady. So let's see what she will be up to. But I'm really, really enjoying it so far. It's quite an easy read as well. The next one I have out as an audiobook from the library, and it is a short story collection. It is Her Body and Other Parties by Carmen Maria Machado. I picked this up on a whim because I've seen this cover and I've heard about this book for quite a while. It came out a few years ago, and I believe a lot of people seem to enjoy it. At least that's how I remember. So now that I have listened to the first of the short stories, I can tell that it is similar to, or at least it feels similar to me, to Mariana Enriquez's short story collections, the ones I recommended in my fall book recommendations video, because those short stories are horroristic and they have a lot of supernatural, superstitious elements, and they're set in contemporary Argentina. And this is also kind of similar with its themes, women, for example, especially in this first one. And it has some of the same mix of elements in them. So it says here that these short stories have kind of a mix of psychological realism, science fiction, comedy, horror, fantasy, and fabulism. So it sounds like a great mix. And with the horror sprinkled in there, I feel like it's perfect for the spooky season. And the last book I have out from the library is called A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair. And this is book 1 in the Hades and Persephone series, trilogy. I'm not sure. I've never heard of this book before. The cover really captivated me when I saw it on the library app. And I felt like it's gonna be like a dark fantasy, young adult dark fantasy, and I was really in the mood for that. Now this turns out to be paranormal smutty romance, so not quite what I expected, but I have started listening to it and I quite enjoy it. At least the beginning is okay, I would say. But now knowing what this really is, I kind of adjusted my expectations, so to speak. So let's see how I will get along with this. So these are all the books I am currently in the middle of. Please tell me what are the books you are currently in the middle of. Are you also reading spooky books for October or mysteries, or do you pick up specific books around this time of the year? I think I have like a mix of everything, but I'm quite happy that I have some spooky, seasonally appropriate books sprinkled in there, especially with Her Body and Other Parties and Lady Audley's Secret. I think those are the ones which really lend themselves to October and Halloween. So this is where I will leave you today. Thank you so much for joining me and for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.